Hi guys, today I'm so excited. I know I always say I'm really excited, but listen, makeup makes me so excited, and especially today's video because we are going to be diving into the new Glamlite cocktail collection. They sent me the whole collection in PR. I'm so excited. Just wait until you see everything. I can't wait to show you. So let's start off with, what should we start off with? So this whole collection comes with 4 palettes as well as some lip products and some highlighters. Should we just start with the palettes because those are like the most exciting thing, at least for me anyway. There are 4 palettes in this collection. All are inspired by a drink. And that is really exciting. Like, I like me a drink here and there, so I don't find that offensive at all. But if you don't drink, maybe this collection isn't for you, but I think this is really fun. And also the packaging on all of these is just the cutest thing ever. I'm pretty sure that all of the palettes come inside of a bottle. Like, I don't think this is just a PR thing, so every single palette came inside one of these. So this is the dry martini one, and then obviously it matches up with the palette itself. I just think that that is such a cool touch. Like, is it maybe a little bit unnecessary and over the top? Sure, but like, it's just fun. Like, I don't know. I appreciate the little touches. I really like when brands put some extra thought and stuff into their packaging because it just makes opening a package just that much more exciting. So let's go through the palettes so I can show them all to you because they are all beautiful. Every single one of these color stories really speak to me and I can't wait to dig into these. So the first one here is the Margarita palette. Margarita has never been like my favorite drink. It's not really something that I'm super into, but I will say I'm very into this color story. It's very bright, it's very fun, it's very summery. I would say that it's probably out of the 4 palettes like my second to last favorite, just because I feel like I'm more into like darker tones right now with it being fall and stuff, or at least going into fall and Christmas, and I'm not like that into the rainbow kind of thing, but on the other hand, like I love bright, so I know I'm going to have a great time with this regardless. I'm just so excited. And the swatches, oh my god, the swatches for all of these palettes are just out of this world. They look absolutely insanely beautiful and I can't wait to put them on my eyes. Next up, we're gonna have the wine palette, which wine is definitely my thing. Like, I would say that I drink like a small glass of red wine probably like 5 days out of the week. I really do enjoy my wine, and so this palette is just speaking to my soul. It has so many beautiful purples and pinks, and I just think that this is gonna be super fun. Again, swatches beautifully. Some of the mattes maybe seemed a little bit on the patchy side, but these are colors that are very hard to formulate, but I think on the eye with an eyeshadow primer it's going to perform so much better. I always swatch on a dry arm, so if something isn't looking like perfect, like don't worry, it's probably going to look a lot better on the eyes, but in general, like these swatched like a dream. Let's move on to the one that is probably my favorite because I love green eyeshadow, and this is the Dry Martini. I don't like martinis, but I do like this palette. This palette looks so beautiful. The tones of green in here, like this reminds me of a better version of the Jeffree Star, whatever money palette he came out with, I don't know. But this one looks beautiful and I'm so excited to dig into this. Like, I think that no matter what I end up doing with this palette, I'm going to love the look that I do because all of these colors are just so me, and I'm so excited. So excited. Lastly, we have the chocolate martini palette, which I've never had a chocolate martini, so I don't know if I would like it, but I do like chocolate, so maybe. I don't know. I'd be open to trying it. This is probably my least favorite color story just because it's a little too neutral for what I normally go for, but for being a neutral palette, this is beautiful. I think they did a really good job with this. I feel like I'll be able to get like a pretty decently colorful look out of this despite it being quite neutral. But yeah, I'm really excited about all of these. I cannot wait to dig into them. The collection also comes with 2 highlighters, which we have a pina colada. Is that how you say that? Is it pina colada or pina colada? I think it's just pina colada. I'm not really sure. But anyway, this is the highlighter and it looks really pretty. This is the lightest out of the 2, and this one is kind of just your basic light champagne-y highlighter, but I think that on the skin is going to look beautiful. Like, you don't need to be fancy with highlighters all the time. Like, I think it's totally fine to make like very basic colors and highlighters because it's just the kind of color that's going to look really good on everybody. And then we have the darker one, which is called Mimosa, and this is a very yellow leaning kind of goldy highlighter. It's probably going to look a little bit better on darker skin tones, which I think is awesome, but I'm probably going to try to make it work on myself too. I'm not sure if it's going to look weird or not, but we'll find out. And the last thing in the collection are the lip products. These are so cute. Like they come in a bundle. I'm not sure if you can buy them individually or not. I will of course have the website link down below so you can go check out all of these things. I also do have a code with Glamlite. It's just Annette and it will save you 15% off, which is awesome. Most brands only do 10%. It is affiliated, just so you know, but if you use my code, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. For the lip products. So there are 5 lip products in here and 2 of them are liquid lipsticks and 3 of them are glosses. In the order from left to right here, we have vodka, Irish cream, rum, whiskey, and Pinot. And the shades rum and Pinot are the liquid lipsticks and the other ones are the glosses. So I think we should just go ahead and get in. So my plan for this collection and how I kind of want to do this is I think what I want to do is I want to, for this video, just have it be like a fun little playtime. We're going to try out a lot of these things. I'm going to combine all of the palettes in a look and then I will do separate videos with each of the palettes so that if there is only one palette that you're interested in, you don't have to sit through a whole video like watching it, you know, me do a look with all 4 of them. And I think that that's just going to be kind of fun. Like I feel like all of these palettes are such standalone palettes that I really want to focus on them each individually. Probably only going to have time to do one look with each because this is a lot of palettes and obviously I'm going to have more things coming in, but I think that's kind of my plan. So it's going to be a lot of Glamlite coming up, but I'm just really excited about this collection and I want to play with it a lot and I want to make a lot of content with it because it's just fun. This is not sponsored by any means. This is just my own, this is just me being selfish and making the content that I want to make. So that is what we're going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to start by actually putting on one of the lip products because I need something on my lips. So I think I'm going to use the shade here called Rum. This was one of the liquid lipsticks and then I can top it with the gloss. And this just looks to be a beautiful nude. I really like the packaging on these. This is just such a little cool touch. Like I haven't seen packaging like this with a lip product ever. I would say the formula for the Glamlite liquid lipsticks are, I wouldn't say they're thick, but they're very, very opaque and you only need one layer to get them to look nice. They are a little bit on the drying side, but then again, they are liquid lipsticks. So like I find all liquid lipsticks to be quite drying. That's just like a me thing and probably my lips because I usually have pretty dry lips. But I think that they do a really, really nice formula. It's not like the kind of formula that I reach for on a daily basis because I prefer something that's usually more like a bullet lipstick type thing. I don't really go for the matte liquid lipsticks anymore. And if I do, I usually layer them with a gloss. So that is what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm just going to wait for this to dry a little bit. And then let's see, what am I going to do today? I'm thinking I want to kind of do something that's not going to look ridiculous with the top that I'm wearing because I really don't want to change after. So for my crease shades, I'm probably going to work with these 2 palettes here and then maybe we can use some shimmers from the other 2. Maybe that could be like a good plan. Yeah, let me try to figure out what it is I want to do. I'm also going to prime my eyes. I'm going to use my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base as per usual. And then let's go ahead and put on the vodka gloss. This is a very sparkly kind of white gloss. I think it's going to look quite nice with this lipstick. Yeah, that is really, really pretty. And now I got the lipstick all over my doe foot. So I'm gonna clean that off before I put it back in so that it doesn't get all messy in there because I would like for this to stay clean. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna start with a wine palette here and I'm gonna use this darkest shade down in the corner, which is called Vintage. I'm gonna use that as my outer corner shade and my deepening shade. Usually with dark purples, I really like to start with them as my first shade because they can be a little bit tricky to layer sometimes. I don't know if this one will be, but just to play it safe so I don't have any issues with it. I can't imagine that I would because I do really like Glamlite's mattes, but just in case, I'm gonna start with this as my first shade. Just putting it in the outer corner of my eye. Just look how rich that color is. That is beautiful. I'm not gonna use this in my crease at all. I just want this to be my deepening shade. I'm gonna take it a little bit on the outer corner of my eye as well, just connected with the outer part that I put down already. So I think this is about where I'm going to leave it. That looks beautiful. I love that color. I'm going to, let's see, I do want to blend this out with another color, but I think for the front portion, I'm going to use, maybe I'll use the pink from the Margarita palette. So I'm going to take the shade here called Watermelon, which is a very, very bright, almost neon pink. And I'm gonna put that in the front portion of my crease here. And then I'm probably gonna use another shade to blend out the purple as well. Maybe I'll take one of the sort of lighter shades from the neutral palette to do that with. just gonna try to use, you know, like at least one matte and one shimmer from each palette. I might not be able to use 8 shades total, but I'm gonna try to put a lot of these on my eyes just to get like a decent first impression at least, even though I'm not gonna be able to really like review the palettes in this video, obviously, because I'm not gonna have used enough shades, but I do feel like I have a good enough idea of Glamlite's formula to know how the palettes are going to perform, and so far I'm not having any problems, but I'm also just putting down like, you know, one shade on top of an eyeshadow primer. That's usually not going to cause any problems with any formulas, but it's looking very, very nice so far. The pigmentation is absolutely there, so I'm not working on like perfecting my blends yet. I'm just kind of putting down the colors where it is I want them to be. So I'm gonna dip into the neutral palette, I think, and I'm gonna use the shade, let's see, maybe I'll use this shade up here, which is called Irish Cream. This is just sort of a dark bone colored matte, a little bit darker than my skin tone. And I'm gonna use that to just blend out the edges of that purple and just mix it together with the pink as well. So I think this is starting to come together. I am gonna go back in with the purple just to make sure that this is nice and blended into that neutral shade. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do for shimmers? I also want to make sure I use something from the green palette here. It's a little bit hard to maybe pull in one of these colors to go with this look. Not really sure how exactly I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll use one of the shimmers like as a pop of green on my lower lash line. Maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah, I'm not seeing a way that I can really pull this in with the mattes. The only thing that maybe I could do is take a little bit of this shade. Actually, maybe that would look good. I'm gonna grab this one. This one is called Classic. And I'm going to use that underneath my eye and the front portion of my lower lash line because this is going to blend very nicely into the purple. And this is more, it's more of a blue than it's a green, I think. And I think because of that, it's just going to make a little bit more sense with the color choices that I've already put down. That is such a cool color. I really like this. I am going to work on my blend a little bit with the mattes after this, and then we can move on to using some of the shimmers because Glamlite shimmers are insane. So as always, I'm going to put down a little bit of my NYX glitter primer just so we can really make this pop. Not that it needs to help, but I do just like to have some glitter primer on my eye because I just find the longevity and the creasing to be a little bit less with any eyeshadows that I use, just because I do have hooded eyes, and sometimes shimmers, especially these kind of shimmers that are extremely metallic and creamy, can tend to crease a little bit on me, which is not an issue at all, but I just like to just have a little bit of a tacky base down. I don't want to have too much of this, just enough that it gives a nice little sticky surface. And then I'm gonna start with, I'm thinking I want either something like blue or purple on the outer corner of my eye. So maybe I'll do 3 shimmers. I'm gonna start with the wine palette, and I'm gonna take this shade here, which is called Concord Grape. And I'm gonna put that mostly on the outer portion of my lid here and blend it into that bluish purpley matte here. And I'm not using too much of this because I do want to have room for 2 other shimmers on my lid, just so we can try out as many of these as possible. But this is super nice and glittery. It's not as metallic as some of these other shades, but it has a lot of sparkle to it. Next, I want to use probably a purpley pinky shade of some sort, so maybe I'll go back into the Margarita palette, and I'm thinking I want to use this shade right here, which is called Pink Lemonade, and I'm gonna put that on obviously the rest of my lid. I'm gonna leave a little bit of room in my inner corner still because I do want to use one more shade, but this is so pretty. Again, super sparkly. The shade is a little bit more metallic than the purple shimmer that I used. The shade is so pretty. I love the sparkles in that. And I think for the inner corner, I'm gonna use probably the shade in a neutral palette because there was a beautiful inner corner shade in here. So I'm gonna take the shade here called Extra Vodka. Wait, not Extra Vodka, Vanilla Vodka. Vanilla. Not extra. I don't think anybody needs extra vodka, but maybe you do. Maybe you're having a bad day and that is exactly what you need. That would be funny if that was the actual name of the shadow. I'm gonna spray this a little bit with some Fix Plus because I just want this to be nice and intense, and since I don't have any glitter primer in my inner corner, I just like to do this step, but I'm expecting this to be insanely intense. That is beautiful. Oh, that is so pretty. This is like my favorite kind of inner corner shade. Super duper metallic. And it has a very, very strong yellow shift to it. This is gonna blend beautifully into both of these colors that I'm blending it into now. Yeah, I love this. I think that is really, really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off with my eyes, and then I'll come back and we can try out the highlighter as well. Not sure which one I wanna use, probably the lightest one, but let me go ahead and finish off with the eyes, and I'll come back and we can do that. So the eyes are done. I didn't do anything crazy. I just put a little bit of turquoise in my waterline and some mascara. And I think we're gonna go ahead and try out the highlighter. I'm very, very excited. I think this is going to look beautiful. So I'm going to use the one called Pina Colada or Pina Colada or however you want to say it, whatever floats your boat. I'm gonna use, let's see, what do I want to use for this? I think I'm gonna use a eyeshadow brush here, which is what I tend to use for my highlighters. I'm gonna use this one from What's Up Beauty. This is the R104. It's just a very large eyeshadow brush basically, and I'm just gonna pick up some of this on my brush and we're gonna see what this looks like as a highlighter. That looks beautiful. Oh, that is really, really nice. It's maybe a little bit too light for me. I do feel like it has a little bit of a gray cast. When I look straight ahead, I can kind of see like the gray here. So maybe what I need to do is I need to mix the two highlighters for it to be like my perfect shade. But I kind of get that they wanted to make like a light one and a darker one. But I think for me, maybe this is a little bit lighter than what I personally like. I know some people don't really mind if there's a little bit of a cast with their highlighter, but the formula is beautiful. It's really nice and smooth. It's very shiny. It looks really nice on the skin. It kind of looks wet in a way, but in a good way. I'm gonna take a little bit of the shade called Mimosa, which is the other one. Just a little bit, just gonna tap my brush a little bit in there and just kind of layer it over the top. And I think that kind of fixed it. I think that made it a little bit darker, but man, this one is beautiful as well. You really don't need a lot of these. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my blush brush, which I don't have any extra product on, and I'm just gonna kind of go over a little bit here just to merge these together. And I think this is going to help kind of deepen it up a little bit as well. So I think this is going to be the look. I really like this. I think this looks beautiful. The eyes are really pretty as well. I didn't have any problems with the formula at all. I think that this is the good Glamlite formula that I'm used to. The lips are looking great, very, very comfortable. Of course, I'm going to be using the other lip products in my other videos with this collection, so just keep your eyes out. I don't know if all of the videos with the other palettes are gonna be back to back. I might have something else coming in between that I want to film with, but we'll see what happens. But there will be a video coming with all of these palettes. These are all available now as we speak, so if there's any that you're interested in picking up, just know that a video is coming if you want to know more information about them. If not, I hope that at least this video was somewhat helpful, at least with swatches and all of that. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, thank you Glamlite for sending over this collection. I cannot wait to play more with it. If you want to see more Glamlite content, I of course have a playlist. I'll put that right there. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.